please say your name and where you're from, both city and country?
Okay. My name is Casey Johnny, and I am from Kota Kinabalu, Sabah, Malaysia.
How are you a student?
How am I a student?
Are you a student?
Oh, yes, I am a student. Sorry. And I'm a third year doctoral student in the Cell and Molecular Biology program here at Michigan State.
So you've been here for 3 years?
3 plus the 3 years of undergrad. So I did my undergrad here as well.
Why did you come to the United States?
Why, right? Okay, yes, why? I came here with a scholarship from the Malaysian government. So they were sponsoring both my pre-U studies, and if I pass that, then they'll sponsor my degree, so my bachelor's degree. And the country, so when you receive the scholarship, they just basically state what country you would be going to, and so it was just there.
So it's a big government program where they can send you anywhere that you apply for?
Yes. Well, you really have to look at the program itself, what the degree that you're going to be studying in, and then they'll decide the country. And you can, it's usually just like based on like a lottery system almost. So.
Does it matter? Like, did you have like a pre-test or?
So the test in order to get the scholarship or in order to apply for the scholarship is you have to. So we have like this national exam after our high school. So what that does is give you like a score of all of your subjects, and depending on how many A's you get, and then you can apply for a scholarship. And they can reject you in the first try, so basically just screening the applicants, and then they'll move on with the interviewing process, and then if you get selected, and then they'll just sponsor you further.
So did you know anyone when you first got here that had like recommended MSU or?
Well, somebody recommended Michigan. He was my lecturer back in Malaysia, and he was a student at Eastern Michigan, and so he basically just said that Michigan is a pretty cool place. People are nice. There's snow on the ground, so that's about it. Yeah.
What initially shocked you about American culture? Was something different, or just something confusing? Maybe the food, clothing, weather.
I would say, well, the first impression that I got is like people are really nice, especially around East Lansing. So I think my first experience of riding a bus, like the bus driver was really helpful. And food-wise, portion size, it's a little bit nice. Or I mean, like the first time I had it, it was a little bit weird because it's basically fit for 2 people consumption, but it's nice in the sense that you can have some and then have leftovers afterwards. But yeah, I like the diverse range of food that's available, especially if you go on like Grand River, then you can get like Asian food or like Mexican food or just sandwiches or whatever. So that was pretty nice. Yeah.
Did you have a culture shock when you first got here?
Culture shock. I think not culture shock per se, or I wouldn't define it as culture shock. It was just something weird. I think that how the student dress for university is pretty like liberal. You can be wearing your pajamas to go to classes, so that was something weird. It's not really like a culture shock or anything like that, but it was just an observation, I would say. What else? People speak really fast. I think the first time I came here, trying to understand people, period, was a little bit difficult because people would just like zip through their conversation, and you're like, hey, I don't really quite understand what you're saying over there. Yeah. It's like, yeah. So.
Did you have any problems fitting in or feeling accepted when you first got here?
Like I said, my first impression of people here that they're really nice. They would ask, where are you from, or they'd be interested to know like where I'm from, and so yeah, it has been pretty nice. I didn't really feel like it was hard to fit in. There are instances where say for example like big family holidays like Easter's and Christmas, because people go back home for these kind of celebrations. So it feels a little bit weird not celebrating those, because we do celebrate them back at home also.
But it's just weird because you're here. And
Yeah, yep. And people, it's a pretty, I think, like celebration like this, it's pretty like tight knit in a sense of family celebrates it together. So back in Malaysia, what we do is like we have open houses. So we just go to like relatives' place and have a bunch of people in one place at the same time. So it's more like open, I guess, in the sense of that those kind of celebration, if that makes sense or anything.
So it's just a little bit more social than
Yeah,
here.
yep.
It's a little bit more family centered.
Yes. It's a little bit more intimate over here, I would say. Yeah.
So have you gone back to Malaysia any time since you've been here?
Yep, I've been back 3 times, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, I've been back and came back here again.
How do you get a visa, a student visa in Malaysia? Is it difficult or?
Getting a student visa isn't really difficult, provided you have a proof of financial. I think that's the only thing that they look at. If you can convince the visa officer that you are able to pay for your education and you won't be basically overstaying your visa, then they'll usually give you. I thought it was a pretty straightforward process. Yeah.
Were you ever discriminated against in both the traditional way, which is person-to-person, conflict, or in the professional world where you were denied a position at maybe a job or an internship because you were a foreign student or you couldn't speak as well English?
Personally, I haven't had those kind of experience yet. On the contrary, I think that people here are very accepting in the sense of, at least for student, I do not know about like professional world, because that deals with a whole different issues with the visas and stuff like that. But for like student employment, I think that people are looking at whether you're hardworking or not, whether you're willing to be responsible in your job, and they would just offer you the job if they find that they like you and you're willing to work hard. So I thought that was a pretty straightforward, and it's really nice to just be like, even though I'm an international student, people would just accept me to work in their lab, and so that's pretty sweet.
Did you have a lab job when you first got here, or?
Not necessarily the first time that I got here, so probably around a year later after I got here. So yeah.
Have you been at the same lab since then, or just
No.
sort of networked around, or?
Well, I started off in Christoph Benning's lab, and then for my PhD, I'm moving into I'm in Dean Delpena's lab, so just moved down one floor because his lab is like upstairs. So yeah, it's a pretty tight knit community, the plant research lab. So
Everybody knows each other.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's pretty. If you think that you like a particular person, like research more than the other, or if you have other interests, it's pretty easy to try to find those.
What do you miss most about Malaysia?
Family, definitely, and like the food. The food in Malaysia is a little bit different from here, so definitely those two.
Have you had Malaysian food in America, like cooked by a restaurant here? Or?
I think there's a Malaysian restaurant in Kalamazoo and one near Chicago. They do a pretty good job, I would say. So yeah, we had one time. I don't know if you've been to this Malaysian night where it was in a dorm that they did it. It was
Acres?
I think so. Yeah, in the dining hall,
Yeah.
and it was basically like Malaysian desserts, and everybody else who are not Malaysians loved it. We were a little bit skeptical because it was just not the same thing.
I thought it tasted great.
Yeah, see, everybody else was like, "This is great," and we're like, "No."
It didn't come out as well as you thought it would.
Yeah, like in theory it was like good, but in Malaysia it's better. So, but I mean, I think it's the same with any other country on
States to finish your education or after that?
To finish my education for sure. Hopefully, I'll graduate and get a degree. And staying here after that, it really depends on the opportunities. Like I say, visa challenges could be difficult because of the whole like being international students. Employer would pay so much more than hiring locals. So
Oh, they do. They pay more.
yeah, so they have to sponsor for your visa and stuff. But if given the opportunity, it really just depends on the opportunity, where it is at, and if it's here, then I'll be willing to stay here if there is. So.
Do you have any final thoughts on MSU differences between Malaysia and America, experiences you've had, any just final suggestions or concepts?
No, not really. Go green.
All right, thank you.
Yep. I hope that helps.
How many people? That's like the fourth person that